My name Doreen and I'm in the IPU inpatient unit, hospitality unit, sorry.
How long have you been a volunteer here?
Almost 17 years. 17 years at the end. I applied in 98 and almost 17 years. I took a course when I came here first, so that brought us into 99. So then once I started then, take it from there, that's it, I'm still here.
And why you decided to do it?
I decided to volunteer because in 97, in the October of 97, I had retired from work and I have no family. I was at home and my husband had died and my brother got cancer and he was at home, he was in the home care. So I used to go up every day. When I had the time, every day, I'd go up with my niece, his daughter, Helen, and look after Dad with the help of the home care team from St. Francis, which was my first time I had ever come in contact with them. And I was very impressed with them. So after Sean died in the April of 98, April 98 he died, I was saying it to one of the nurses, one of the home care nurses, that I'd like to start and do something as I was on my own and had retired. So she said to me at the time, leave it, she said, for about 6 months, it's too soon. So that was okay, that was fine, that was April. So then towards the end of the year, then I decided, so I applied and had the various interviews, got the job, if you like to call it that. And I took on driving. I started down driving, collecting patients for the home care. In the morning, collect them for 10, have them in for 10. And then I would go home, which I only live locally, go home and come back and collect them for 3. So that went on for a while, for a few years, and it was getting a bit of a drag going home, watching the clock, 3 o'clock, you couldn't do anything. So I decided then one day Sister Dorothy, who was here at the time, she asked me would I give her a hand out with fundraising, cleaning mite boxes and what have you. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll wait, I'll go and I bring the patients in the morning. And instead of going home, I'll stay until 3 o'clock. So I duly did that, cleaning mite boxes and tidying up, do bits and pieces. Then when it came towards the coffee morning, they asked me would I go over to, it wasn't Walmart at the time, but they were doing coffee, sending out the mail shot for the coffee. So I started that. And then I was beginning to get a bit tired with the driving because with the traffic. So then as I had slowly kind of got involved with the fundraising, then I changed over to the fundraising. And I was in the fundraising then for a long time. And then I had to take a break because I had to get cataracts done in the eyes. So when I got the cataracts done and then when I came back then, I was thinking I might like a change because we had moved over to Walmer Villa and I thought I might like a change. So I think I approached Brenda at the time and she thought I might like the IPU. So I couldn't tell you how long I'm in the IPU now. I really don't know, Valerie, how long I'm there. I started, as I said, I have 17 years behind me. I could be 7, 8 or 9 years in the IPU. So that's where I stand today.
So what is it that you do from, when you're in here? What does your role?
My role?
Yeah.
Well, when I come in, first of all, Friday, mainly from Friday afternoon is my day. But then now and again you might get a call to come in if you're free, if you have a short or somebody. So there could be weeks, there could be 2 days, but mainly it's Friday afternoon. My first role when I come in is to go around the rooms and collect if there's any leftover trays from the patients for the dinner, because some of them don't get the dinner they'll eat. And then whoever's on duty they go on the break. So I just go around, tidy up the trays, put them in the dishwasher, and then I go off again with my tray and my cloths and my gloves and change the water, fresh water, get fresh water for the patients. If in the course of doing that, somebody might ask you to make a patient a cup of tea. Somebody might ask you to give them something, jelly and ice cream or something like that. So you do that. And I get about a break then for about, what time is it now? It's quarter past 4. About a half an hour to a quarter of an hour in the afternoon. Some afternoons you don't get it because depending on the patients, if they're asleep for their dinner and then they don't want dinner and then you have to give them something like one patient in there today, now she'll get her semolina or something like that up and to go down to the kitchen. And then the teas come up about 5 and Julie or whoever member of the staff is on duty in the kitchen, they make up the trays for the patients, bring the trays in, make sure that they're able to feed themselves, that they're that they're able to do that, or if they want to raise them up in the beds, just press a little button, or if they want to nurse or something. Generally that's about it, and then keep an eye on them while they're having the tea, make sure they're all right, and at about maybe 6:15 they get started about 5 at the teas. Go back around again and collect the trays, put them in the dishwasher. Thank you very much, and go home. That's me for the day. Anything else?
Have you found anything hard, about it? Is it kind of is it kind of emotional or?
No. They asked me that when I was interviewed for the IPU. Mary Phil, as they call her in there, Mary and Brenda had asked me did I think I would be able for it, and I said, well. The way it is, I said, I have been with so many people who have died in the family. Like I was it Sean, my brother, was it Tom, my husband, and my sister, my 2 sisters, my mother, and the hardest one of all was a little 5-year-old niece I had with her the day she died, the morning she died. And I said, if I could get over Dorothy, that was her name, I said, if I can get over, I didn't get over Dorothy's death, but I said, if I could cope with that, I'd cope with anything. So it's not that I'm hard or anything like that, I'm not, because I do feel for the patients, but I feel like they're so well cared for in here. Do you know, and when I look back at Tom, my husband died in 93, this wasn't open here, and they were trying to get in a bed over in Harold's Cross, but he died before that came about. And when I look at the attention like that they get in St. Francis, no, I don't mind. Now, you get attached, sometimes you will get attached to a patient that's here a long time. We had a lovely lady here, and I won't say her name, there a while ago, and she was here for quite a while, and she was lovely. She was really, really nice person. When you get to know them, it's so different. And then you come in and God love them, they might be here today, and when I come back next, what I do when I come in, first of all, my first thing, I go to the board. We have a board with all the names in the kitchen, and I write them down on my little slip of paper, because I don't like going in, because my husband was a devil. He'd never say hello, he'd always say hello Valerie, and he had trained me in that way. So when I go into a room, I don't like to say to a person hello. I like to be able to say hello Mary or hello John, or I have my little slip of paper. And I feel that that's a good thing. I don't know what you think now. You're going to tell me, no, you're not, I know.
Well, what do you feel that you've learned about yourself from doing it? Or have you learned anything about yourself?
No, other than the fact that I can nearly cope with anything now, I think. I think I've got to that stage in life, no matter what the man above throws at you, you can cope with it, because my sister died in here in 2010. And she was here she only came in on the Friday and she died on the Wednesday. The way they like the care, they do for and there's no distinction with any of the patients. You know, everybody's treated the same. You know, whatever, like you might think that there's somebody, you might lean more to one than another, but you don't. That's what I find. I don't, except the ones that would be a long time here, you might have a longer little chat with them when you come in. But other than that, like they're all treated, they're so well minded. I love coming in, and the staff, they're so good, they really are. And you're greeted like as if you were doing, like I'd say to them sometimes, they'd say, you're marvellous, you're great, but it's only, I like doing it, I get pleasure out of doing it. I look forward to coming in on a Friday and any other day, because they're all so good. And it doesn't amaze me, I mean, it's obviously they're all so good humoured, when they even look difficult patients and that, I don't think I've ever heard them complaining about patients. Never. You'll always get the odd one or two. But if I come up against anybody like that, I just take them as I find them. And then if they said stand on your head, I stand on my head. So, anything I'd say, well, God loved them, they're sick, I'm not. You don't know what way their poor minds are going, lying in the beds. And my best friend of 60 years died here too as well, a couple of years ago, Marcella. We were pals from the day I was 14. We started to work together at 14. And we were 60, 61, started at 14, Marcella was 77, about 65 years we were palling together, and we never had her out. 10, she died, Nell died 2010, my other sister 2011, Marcella was 2012, she died in here, and she thought she'd never get over here. She said, do you think Doreen will get over here to St. Francis before it? I said, you will. So she was here about 5 weeks before she died, and she was happy here. you know, and the family couldn't believe. That's what I find a lot with families. They're so impressed, like with the care and with the attention that's given to the patients in here. So I mean, it says a lot for the place, doesn't it, really? And I mean, it's nice to know that when you go home at night time that there's somebody there to keep it a little, you know, genuinely, because my neighbour died and she was on her own again. I seem to be telling you about nothing but people that died. I mean, the highs I get, or the pleasure I get out of looking at, well, I don't look after the patient, but giving them little things they like, even if it's only pouring a glass of water for them. You know, sometimes the jug might be too heavy, there might be too much water in it, and they're not able, and they're so grateful even to pour them a glass of water. Do you know that way? You go home and say to yourself, well, what's my niece said to me, what did you do today? I said, well, I looked after the patient and I gave a glass of water. I said, yes, and you don't realise what it means to a patient that hasn't got the strength. No, and then I do a bit I knit, you ever see the chickens, the Christmas chickens, I knit them. Did you know that I knitted them? Did you see them?
No.
Let's see little knitted chickens for fundraising.
Yeah.
The little knitted chickens, I knit 500 last year.
Wow.
For the fun, for fundraising. I've been doing it for years, Valerie. I knit the chickens. So I've been knitting them ever since. It must be 10, 12 years knitting chickens. I've started now for next year already, and I have 90 done for next year. They're little knitted chickens, Valerie, with the... there's nothing in the knitting. It takes more time to make them up. Because you have to cut out a little beak, felt of beak, and then you have to put in eyes. And then you have to stitch him up, and then you have to stuff his head, and then you have to put ribbon around his neck, and then you have to put little cream eggs. They go into it as well. Yeah, and they sell them all. Like, I was very surprised at this last year. Now, my sister used to help me with them, but God love her, she's got Parkinson's now. The last sister I have, and she doesn't knit anymore now. So I started early last year, and I was proud of myself. I had 500.